Hi, welcome to eEconomics. I'm David Angelo. Well, the economy's finally rebounded. It's doing very well. For instance, the guy who collects scrap metal in my neighborhood just hired 3 new employees. So that's nice. It's nice to see a small business grow like that. Today's topic, austerity. In the past few weeks, I've been reading a lot about austerity and how its supporters are ruining this country. For instance, there was an article in the Huffington Post that said, the title of the article was, "Austerity Fanatics Won't Let Mere Economics Stop Them from Thinking They're Winning." Okay, and then in the article, the guy goes on to quote some economist he met at a Rage Against the Machine concert, and they agree that austerity is terrible and it has to end. Well, I want to find out more about this austerity. So let's go on an old-fashioned austerity hunt. Like any true austerity hunt, I have no budget for graphics. Okay, so what is austerity exactly? Big government cuts? Well, that must show up in the budget. Hey, look, there's a graph of the federal government's total expenditures. They spent just under $4 trillion this year. Not exactly the savage cuts I've been hearing about. But wait, maybe federal spending hasn't increased enough to offset government cuts at the state and local level. Nope, state and local government spending is at an all-time high. Hey, but I've heard that the federal government is slashing their workforce. So let's take a look at the graph of total federal employees. That's not it. There it is. We had a big spike for the census, but then it did taper off, although we still have over 200,000 more federal employees now than at the start of the recession. Well, that doesn't sound very austere. Hey, maybe it's the Federal Reserve that has all this austerity going on. Aside from keeping interest rates at zero, the Fed has also made an unprecedented $1.2 trillion investment in real estate and has monetized at least another $1 trillion in government debt in the past few years, which continues at a pace of $80 billion a month. Seems that when people say austerity, what they really mean is not being fiscally reckless fast enough. No serious person would describe any of that as austerity, and yet some of our most respected experts can't seem to stop bemoaning the horrors of austerity. Even though the U.S. doesn't have austerity, we do have people claiming that the lack of more government spending is causing suffering by keeping the unemployment rate high. But the thing is, you don't fix the economy by just having the government add more jobs. You add more jobs by fixing the economy. That's the priority. If you look at Cuba, they have no unemployment. Everyone has a job over there. But is that the economic model we want to follow? Well, I'll just drive around at Edsels rolling cigars for $3 a week. The irony here is that government debt doesn't solve unemployment. For instance, the high water mark of unemployment after the Great Recession here was in 2010 with 15.4 million people unemployed. Right now we have 11.8 million people unemployed. These are government numbers. So we've added 3.6 million jobs in that time. And during that same time, we added $3.2 trillion of new debt. So if we accept that deficits create jobs, then each one of those jobs cost us $890,000. We'd save money just by mailing everyone a check for $500,000. This government's policy is a failure, but it's not austerity, it's extravagance. See, the government thinks they can fix everything, but they don't realize they've grown out of control. Just ask these IRS officials.
I'm afraid without a wealth of skilled leaders, anarchy is spreading across the planet like a virus.
How long before total anarchy?
If my calculations are correct, total anarchy will occur in 11 hours.
What is it, boss?
I just received an emergency medical distress call from the planet. Chris, they're dying down there.
Now, the IRS came forward and said they won't make videos like that anymore. But according to every blogger I've read, they should make videos like that. That government spending stimulates our economy in this liquidity trap. You see, the private sector just doesn't have the demand for $50,000 Star Trek parody videos about taxes. And that may be a failure of the free market, I don't know. But I think more likely it's just another sign that everyone's off their rocker. Now, the only taste of austerity we've had in this country since the recession was an increase in income taxes, which all those bloggers loved. So I don't know. I just hope that the NSA screener watching this video might pass it along to someone in the administration. Because as long as we're going to live in a authoritarian police state, I might as well do what I can to help the dear leader. Okay, I'll see you next week, probably from Guantanamo Bay.